The Trudeau government has stopped prioritizing how Canada takes in refugees. Under the Harper Conservatives, Christians and persecuted minority groups were given priority in our immigration and our refugee queues. Under Harper, the Canadian government gave priority to Christians, Kurds, Yazidis, and Ismailis. All four of these groups are specifically targeted for extermination by the Islamic State. And for the race baiters out there looking for a reason to be upset at me, two of these groups are Muslim, so you can just back off. Now, this was a policy that our new Prime Minister Trudeau exclaimed was wrong. In fact, Trudeau called the refugee policy disgusting and said he would not prioritize refugees. Just listen.
In the Prime Minister's office, staffers were pouring through their personal files to try and see whether these families, or find out which families would be suitable for a photo op for the Prime Minister's re-election campaign. That's disgusting.
Okay, so besides the obvious irony of Prime Minister Selfie Stick complaining that someone else's photo ops are disgusting, as it turns out, like so much of everything, Harper was right. Because the numbers about Christian persecution are in, and they're awful. A recent report by the nonprofit group Open Doors USA says that 2015 is the most violent year on modern record for members of Christianity. Open Doors USA tracks Christian persecution worldwide. They've been at it since 1955. Last year, 7,000 Christians were killed for reasons related to their faith, a rise from 3,000 the year before. We know these numbers, of course, are conservative estimates. Close to 2,400 churches were burned or destroyed in 2015. And the report goes on to cite more localized, low-level daily persecution. Christians are driven out of their communities, refused burial, and denied jobs or education because of their faith. Every day, this is happening across North Africa and the Middle East. And Christians are being specifically targeted by ISIS. We know this through ISIS' own words. The online magazine published by the Islamic State, Dabiq, showed a doctored photo of the Vatican with an ISIS flag flying in St. Peter's Square. The same article included a statement from the spokesperson of ISIS, Mohammed al-Adnani, that said, "We will conquer Rome, break your crosses, and enslave your women by the permission of Allah the Exalted." And he goes on to say, "If we do not reach that time, then our children and our grandchildren will reach it, and they will sell your sons as slaves at the slave market." Now, if that wasn't proof enough for liberals like Trudeau, there's this. Adnani said, "Every Muslim should get out of his house, find a crusader, and kill him, and the Islamic State will remain until its banner flies over Rome." That sounds to me like Christians are being specifically targeted, but I guess not specifically targeted enough to warrant priority from Trudeau and his immigration minister, John McCallum. Trudeau may think that prioritizing refugees is disgusting, but for me, I think making the targets of genocide wait in the same lineup as the people who would target them is disgusting. An immigration policy that is nothing more than a spectacle to prove to the world how Islamophobic you aren't is disgusting. For the Rebel.Media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.